Hi guys, and welcome to this week's episode of In the Club presents At the Club. If you haven't done so, please do consider leaving a like on the video, subscribing to the page and dinging that bell for notifications. At the Club is of course brought to you by ClassForKids.
ClassForKids is an industry-leading booking and management software designed for kids' activity clubs. We work with 250,000 monthly users around the world to help them save time on admin and organise their business. If you'd like to learn more, click on the link in the description below.
So on this week's episode, we are keeping it very in-house here at ClassForKids. We have one of our incredible graphic designers, Nicole, on to talk a little bit about her journey so far, her career progression, some of the tools that she uses, and gives a little bit of advice to some aspiring graphic designers out there. Well, Nicole, thank you very much for joining us on this episode of At the Club. So could you just give us a little bit of a rundown of your professional journey and how it is you got to where you are right now?
Yeah, it's a bit of a miracle, really. So I'm kidding. So I started out just going to school, going to college, and then I took a wee bit of a break from learning just to work, get some money in, and live my best life. And then I returned to uni and got nailed down on graphic design, got my honours degree, and started working in a design agency for a wee while before I got snatched up by ClassForKids. I had done a lot of like freelancing before then, so I had like quite a wide experience in like branding and like more working with like different kinds of industries rather than like one area. So working at ClassForKids was like quite a new thing for me, working as a sole designer for one company. I mean, obviously ClassForKids is great. I loved it from the moment I started, but I predominantly done like ad design when I started, so it was all just designing the advertisements, while my boss at the time ran the ad space. But she then got promoted, rightly so. And we were left with a bit of a gap there with no one running the ads. So I decided to stand up and help fill that position while doing my other job until they kind of found someone else. And it just ended up working out like really well, because now I have that control from running the ads from the very beginning, strategizing it, planning it, developing it, producing it, putting the ad out, manage it, optimizing it, and then tweaking it as I need. So it was quite a change, but it's worked out for the best, I think.
So how would you kind of gauge your interest in graphic design? So like coming up when you were younger, were you like artistically inclined, or were you more kind of like musical? Was it always performative? Was it always a creative kind of upbringing, and your interest veered towards that?
So I absolutely loved art when I was a wee girl. That was like my one subject, and I remember my mum saying to me like, "You can't like make a career out of art." And then my dad worked in IT at the time, so he used to bring me home like some not so legal versions of like softwares. Don't tell anyone. So I kind of started on Fireworks. I don't know if you remember that. It's really, really showing my age here. And then really early versions of like knockoff Photoshop. And I used to make my friends like Bebo skins and MySpace covers. And I just realised that it was something I really loved doing. It was a good mixture between using my artistic talents as well as like my, I suppose, strategy skills and computer development skills that I had learned, like doing GraphCom and CAD.
How do you personally approach like a project, say like a graphic design, something, if you're going to make something, and we can go as specific as like there's, for us, there's like a new campaign or there's an ad that needs to go out, one specific one based on like a brief to say we're going to have 10% off.
Yeah.
10% off product X. How would you?
We do not have 10% off. So I think the first thing that you need to do in any design project is understand what is you're selling, like, or what is you're promoting, what are you advertising, like, who is your audience? Like, who am I targeting with this ad? And like, what do they like? What do they want to see? And then like, where am I putting it? What is my delivery? Is it going to be through Facebook ads, or am I making a billboard? Obviously, I'm not making a billboard, but you know what I mean. So the brief needs to be on point. Then I'll do a bit of research into other things that have maybe been done that have worked well for us. And then I'll start with like sketches and designs. I go quite quickly onto the computer because, as I say, fast-paced industry. We do not have time to be spending weeks sketching ads. And then we rattle it out really, like, as soon as possible. I always try and make sure that I do like loads of variations, different copy on the ads, different colours, different dimensions, so that I don't need to return to the ad in the design as much as possible, and I still have that leeway to experiment with A/B testing.
Yeah. So see, just this just came into my head there when
Yeah.
we were talking. But see, when it comes to like brand identity
Yeah.
as a graphic designer, how would you, in your opinion, how would you gauge strong identity against using like colors with meanings? You know, say
Yeah,
if your
of
brand
course.
colors are green, yellow, and red,
Yeah.
but there's like a royal theme and purple is like a royal color. How
Yeah, of
would you mesh
course.
that?
Well, I mean, we are really lucky because part of our brand, we have so many. Like, I started using our yellow, which when I started, that wasn't our colour. We didn't have a yellow. And then we originally, when we rebranded, we then like brought that yellow in because it became such a staple in our advertisement. So you do have to have a wee bit of leeway while still making sure that it's recognisable as the brand and not taken away from the brand identity or the brand recognition with your audience.
One of the things a lot of our viewers and me especially have noticed on our postings is that there is a high quality of execution when it comes to the graphics and the
Thanks.
graphic design and all that sort of stuff. And one of the programs that clubs who are listening to this, or clubs who want to have a strong brand identity or put out really, really high quality graphics, is Canva.
Yeah.
You've done for some of the customers in here a Canva tutorial.
Yeah.
Do you want to just give us a wee brief rundown about how people can use or could use
Yeah, of course.
tools like Canva to like give themselves a kind of step up on their postings and their graphics for their own ads and for their own like pamphlets and stuff?
I mean, Canva is an absolutely great, it's a brilliant software for people that don't have design experience and don't have access to like any of the Adobe suites or the expensive softwares that you use when you're in graphic design. It's a free tool that has thousands of templates that are, I mean, they're fairly good. No, they are good templates that any brand could utilize. The great thing about Canva is you can upload like a brand profile. So everything from like your logos to your colors to your fonts to your spacing and your text, everything from your brand guidelines you can put into Canva so that it's there at a click of a button. So if you're designing, say, like a social media post, your colors are already there and easy for you to just click. You've got your headings, subheading, all your hierarchies already laid out. You can swap out images easy. What I do, we heavily use Canva a lot for like, say, our social media girlies. We make them templates so that they have really nicely designed social posts that they can just add their own text into or imagery or icons, and everything's easy. It just makes everything easier for them. But as someone with absolutely no design background, you would be able to go into Canva and whip something together within like an hour easily.
Yeah.
Like, and it's so crucial to have something like that especially when you're starting out and money's tight and you don't know whether your business is going to succeed or not yet, and you don't really want to invest heavily. There's loads of programs that are just as good, but yeah, Canva's free, as I say,
Yeah.
and it's it's good.
We must. We are in no way
We're not
affiliated with
sponsored.
Canva whatsoever, or
But
sponsored
hit
by
me
them.
up.
But yeah, the graphic design. I've never touched it. I think I've opened it once, but that's not my space whatsoever.
Yeah, I
but
mean,
yeah.
there's a there's a wee bit of like a chip, I think, on some designers' shoulders with Canva. But I mean, I just think it is a good tool for people without a design background and actual people that have got like qualifications in graphic design or do it for a living. We don't use it for purposes other than to help other
Yeah.
people.
But for somebody who's like in a grassroots level club or a school,
Exactly.
or somebody who's running their own
Yeah.
business, or they're working, you know, after their
You
9 to
don't have
5
time.
job, and they just need to get something that looks good out
Yeah.
there to say, hey, come to my classes.
Yeah,
sort of
that's
thing.
it.
And it separates you because you can see good and bad. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't shy away from the fact that there are bad looking graphics out there. But if you have something that's
100%.
templated, like with colours you want to use, with the font you want to use, and you just go in and change the type,
Yeah.
that's you setting yourself away. Do you have any sort of advice for like aspiring graphic designers or somebody who thinks that they're artistic but they also like working in the tech space?
Yeah. So I think that my main piece of advice would be don't get involved in the industry unless you are so passionate about it. It is not something that you could just delve in and out of. You need to really like live. It needs to be like a key pillar of your existence. Like, I know that sounds so deep, but like you do have to like look at design, and everywhere you go, you are going to become that annoying person where when you're out for a meal, you're judging the menu. Like, it's going to happen, but it's that's what it needs to be. You need to live it. It's not for the weak. You really need to have quite a thick skin because it can be a really brutal industry. You get a lot of critique, you get a lot of criticism. You're going to get a lot of people tell you, nope, that's not what I asked for, that's not what I want. I would say, having said all that, it is really worth it. Like, there's not a day I ever wake up and think, oh, I don't want to go and do my job today.
Yeah.
Like, I do love it to bits, and I'm really like privileged for how far I feel I've came. So it's worth it, but good luck.
Yeah, you're gonna have to work for it.
Yeah.
One final question, Phil.
Oh.
I didn't prepare you.
Bonus.
Yeah, bonus question.
Bonus question. Peeps.
This is a kind of a staple. I think I've asked it in at least 2 of these episodes.
Oh.
So
All two.
all 2. If you could go back
Oh.
and visit your 18-year-old self, what one piece of advice would you give to her?
Oh. Jeez. I'm a strong believer that like all the mistakes I've made have led me to this path that I'm on today, and there's been many. I think I would tell myself not to be so like hard on myself, and just to have more. I mean, I have more confidence in myself. I think for especially the first year that I worked here, I had a really strong case of imposter syndrome and was like how I shouldn't be here, like I'm not good enough, what am I doing kind of thing. And that kind of attitude just does not get you anywhere. You just have to like, see, even if you're failing, do it with confidence. So just like believe in yourself. That's so cringy.
No, that's good advice. That's some of the best advice we've had so far.
Thanks.
Just
All two of
just
them.
believe in yourself. All 2 of them. But that's us. That's all I've got to ask you.
Brilliant.
So, wrap this up. Some excellent insights from Nicole. If you liked what you heard and you haven't done so, please do consider liking the video, subscribing to the page, and dinging that bell for notifications. I will see you on the next episode. Cheers.